I'm Mohanapriyan Thavarajah, and I'm working with Apsara's Arts Indian Dance Company as company's principal dancer and resident choreographer. The art form that I practice is called Bharatanatyam. It's one of the classical form from India. Especially this dance form practiced in southern India in the state called Tamil Nadu. As I was a child, and I have very much rooted in culture and religion, music, dance, and much more activity which brings lots of happiness and joy. And probably that led my journey to ended up in the field of dance, because initially I never thought that I would become a dancer. It was started as an interest, as how children who are coming now to learn Bharatanatyam. I would also go as a student to learn Bharatanatyam as a part-time interest or hobby, and later it became one of the very dominant part in my life, because in the school and I used to take in lots of cultural events, and then my teachers and my parents started to identify my talent and interest in dance. And that's how I was carried away with dance. And when there's a university period came, and then I decided that I wanted to take art field, and especially dance, as my field. Being a performer of Bharatanatyam is such a beautiful thing that I can't even think any other profession may have. Because one thing, it continues to strive, make you strive harder, and you have to continue to be a learner in the first place. So there are very distinct component that the dancer or artist climb onto. So in that process, dancers all are strive hard to reach to the next level. So I like the process of learning in the journey, learning in the career, learning in this profession. So I think that is one side. Another side is meeting with different people. Even though it's a solo art form, even that now have created lots of avenues for the collaborations with, like so many artists around. Because ultimately when the dancers come on stage, the dance does not only speaks. There are other components like music, instrumental, and theory, history, archaeological. There are lots of things put together, especially to make this beautiful, distinct art form. So there are lots of avenues that this art form itself creates for the artist to collaborate with many artists. So I really like that part of being in this force of dance. So importance of storytelling part is to understand the lyrics. So you wanted to say something to the audience, and it has to be conveyed through the dancer's body. So the music and the lyrics that are combined and accompanied the dancer, it become more valuable, add valuable contribution to the dancers. So the storytelling part is not just alone with your body movement, with expression, but there are the lyrical part, the musical instruments and moods, and everything together create this platform for storytelling to the art form. Ultimately, storytelling is to convey the message to the audience. So if I feel sad, if I'm demonstrating, or if I'm enacting any sad moment, and what your inner feeling as an audience, if you felt what it reflected on the stage, and then the storytelling part become a very successful completion, because you tend to really understand what this artist is portraying on this stage. So in that way, I think the storytelling part of this dance component, it's also activating the audience heart. So that is the most beautiful thing in Bharatanatyam, but I felt. For me, it's a new narratives. Even though Bharatanatyam dance forms are based on the devotion and based on the Hindu mythological stories, and of course that is our roots. And when a student learn dance, they go into the process of learning those basics. And when you come to an artist, when you know, like skip over the period of rigorous training, and then when you stand on that art form, and thereby, you know, like it puts you in thought, and you have the creative materials in your hand, but is again the option whether you wanted to serve that thing in their hand, the existing thing in your hand, or using the existing fundamental material to create stuff. So that, I think I'm on the second option, that I'm into researching, I'm into finding new narratives, I'm taking the traditional forms to a new perspective. I feel a dancer, what you have left with them at the end of the performance. It's not about skill showing an art form. So this art form itself gave me so much of potential to grow myself into many avenues. Like today, as a Bharatanatyam dancer, I can talk about the religion, I can talk about Southeast Asian culture, and I can talk about the different language, and I can talk about the temple architecture, I can talk about the different inscriptions. So I'm finding a new narratives to take this art form in order to appreciate the art form. So this is kind of a duty that I'm doing. Duty, I can call it, because we all, some way we have to show our gratitudes. So like as I said, as I answered to the previous question, how I'm taking the new narratives and a new philosophical aspect to connect today's world. Okay, so those are, I think, my personality, because personality is not only features your good feature or good figure, but it's also what distinctly, you know, like you bring it as an artist. So standing out from other, because it's not a competitive mode, I would say. It's exploration of how you can add values to the artist and your art form, so that the generations to come will also show much passion in learning this art form. Because I think these younger generation now are well advanced in thinking, in moving, in acting. At the same time, we're left with so much of advancement in the technology, and we can move forward, but that means we should not look back to our roots, right? You know, like even the generations are made up with so much of choices. Like some of them might like medicine field, some of them might do engineering field, but very limited group of people who are concentrating on arts. But what you made to show your interest in arts is what left, because you have seen something and then you wanted to progress. But you know, like take that to a next generation. That is your duty, I would say, because without those, you know, like generations who have passed on this rich culture, it's existing in our region. We can't neglect that. Okay. Your identity is your identity, but look at the surrounding which gave you the identity. And when you represent different art forms, I think it's your choice, but at the same time you have your duty to give it to your region. I think in that way, I think the generations who are neglecting traditional art forms actually neglecting their own roots and their own culture. I think it's a time we must really look back and learn more about our roots and our culture.